I find the fall of Constantinople quite interesting. Many undergraduate world history courses use this as the line in the sand between World History 1 and World History 2. But let's talk about what you're actually here for. What if Constantinople didn't fall? What if Constantinople survived Mehmed II's siege? I'm not too optimistic for the Byzantines' chances. This is what the Byzantine Empire looked like when the Paleologos dynasty took over after the Latins partitioned it during the Fourth Crusade. And this is what it looked like on the eve of its capture. While it is easy to blame the Latin Crusaders for sacking Constantinople, partitioning the empire amongst themselves, and spending the next few decades fighting the Byzantines, I find the more direct and immediate causes of the sorry state of the Byzantine Empire to be from what Rome does best, cannibalizing itself from multiple civil wars and revolts. Civil wars are not cheap in terms of men and supplies. And the fact that you tend to ally with local powers tend to be not in your favor because they ask for payment in the form of money or land. You know what they say, let no good crisis go to waste, and the Ottomans certainly didn't let any crisis go to waste. Yes, the Crusaders are responsible for kicking off this chain of events, but the chain of events did not need to play out the way it did. So let's go over the possibilities that I see if Constantinople survived Mehmed's siege. The first option is that Mehmed sues for peace because he's taken too many casualties to sustain his siege. The Ottomans had already besieged Constantinople 3 other times in the 15th century alone. I doubt there would be much stopping them from simply raising another army a decade later and then trying again. I mean, if they failed here, they certainly had the manpower and the resources needed to besiege Constantinople again in a decade, which Constantinople's position would be weaker because it's not like they could replenish their lost resources because they were just reduced to the Moria and Constantinople. The other option is Crusader wanking, as if the Crusaders didn't get us into this mess in the first place. Okay, let's say John Hunyadi was able to muster up a Crusader army with the help of the Pope and charge Constantinople while it was under siege. Mehmed is dead, and his armies are scattered. You know for a fact that the Crusaders don't work for free and they would demand land and loot. Venice, in particular, will be demanding some islands for their maritime empire. The Ottomans will probably be launched into another decade-long civil war, which the Crusaders will take advantage of, assuming the Crusaders aren't ripping themselves apart or the locals apart. I do not see a future for the Byzantine Empire that doesn't involve them becoming either a Crusader protectorate or an Ottoman protectorate. One of the things Mehmed did was repopulate Constantinople after he sieged the city, because one, the city was already depopulated, and then killing a bunch more people during the siege didn't help. Come to think of it, since the churches were in union, maybe the Latin West would repopulate the city. Imagine the orders like the Knights Hospitaller setting up shop in Constantinople, since they were already invested in defending them once, they might as well stay there. Architecture from the Latin West could be imported into Constantinople once more, and merge with the Byzantine architecture of the East, creating a mix between the Byzantine architecture and the Latin Western Crusader architecture. As you can see, I'm not too much of a fan of saying that Constantinople survives and the Byzantine Empire immediately crawls its way out of the gutter, because I'm not a believer in the whole winning one decisive battle turns your fortunes around. Pyrrhic victories exist. Tactics win battles, but logistics ultimately win wars, and logistics wasn't something Constantinople had. Constantinople would have won the battle, but I ultimately think unless the stars aligned correctly with the Crusaders or the Ottoman Civil War, that Constantinople was in no position to not get squashed. But those are just my thoughts. Please consider liking, subscribing, tipping the channel on Ko-fi. This is Cyril signing off.